I'd now like to call upon Helen Bradley to present Respecting Centenary Church, United Church.
Madam Chair and committee members, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you today. I was thinking I might have to speak really quickly so we get it done in time. I am here today with also Dr. Robert Ward from St. Giles Centenary United Church, and he is the chair of the Outreach Committee. My position is the chair of our new Amalgamated Church Council, which was formalized June 22nd with Hamilton Presbytery approving the amalgamation of St. Giles and Centenary United Churches. You might have seen our signage referring to us as One Main Street United Church. That was our working name, and we are working now on coming up with something that's not that name and that is less cumbersome than St. Giles, the Centenary United Church, which is quite long. Our goal is to explain our position against having Centenary United Church included in the list for possible heritage designation and laying out our rationale. The background support material that I have provided are 3 documents. First, a discussion paper called Working with Our Heritage by Robert Lehman of Lehman & Associates Planning Consultants. Second is a position paper by the United Church of Canada called Balancing Church Property Interests with Heritage Preservation. And third is a document called Religious Heritage Resource Management Guideline. And this is an outline of alteration and demolition criteria, which has also been produced by Robert Lehman & Associates Planning. This speaks to recommended criteria for consideration for churches which are designated as heritage facilities because they are by their nature a different kind of building than other buildings are. So the issues around designating a church as a heritage building have the potential to place church and societal needs in direct conflict, as resources which the church could utilize to carry out its mission and work can be diverted to maintaining property which no longer meets the needs of the congregation or our mission. If Centenary United Church is designated as a heritage property, and if we cannot exert control over how we use our building to support our church mission in downtown Hamilton, our guarantee of freedom of religion, as outlined in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, could be denied, with control of the church property effectively being taken over by a secular body. Centenary United Church has a track record and a history of dealing respectfully with the City of Hamilton in maintaining the building and the property and any proposed changes to it. As St. Giles, the Centenary United Church, we propose to continue doing so because our built form is one of the many layers of our heritage and our identity. Keeping our decision-making about building disposition separate from the heritage designation process reduces the risk of this conflict between our freedom of religious expression and city considerations. We further recommend that the City of Hamilton adopt the criteria outlined in the document, the Religious Heritage Resource Management Guideline for churches, which do receive heritage designation. As a congregation, our amalgamation and our work as a new birth congregation is gathering momentum. We have a critical mass, and we will be making decisions about our resources and our assets in the next 8 months. We're working with EDGE, which is an agency of the United Church of Canada, and they have expertise in exploring alternatives of building development and disposition. The final decisions will, of course, be made by our congregations and will have to be approved by the Presbytery, the Hamilton Presbytery. And part of our process will include community consultation with respect to both properties, the Centenary site and the St. Giles site. and those community consultations will be facilitated by a missional consultant affiliated with EDGE. So we respectfully request to have Centenary removed from the list of potential heritage designated properties, and as I said, recommend the adoption of those criteria in considering church properties which are designated. And that is my presentation. Are there any questions?
Through the chair. I'm sorry, Ms. Bradley. Can you be more specific as how designation of the Centenary Church would impact your services or your religious freedoms? I'm kind of a little fuzzy on that.
That has more to do with the use of our resources and the potential value of those resources that we've built up over time. We've established that the number of people that we have worshiping in our congregation is not sufficient to maintain the facility of Centenary or St. Giles. So we're going to have to come up with a different plan, and it will affect the financial value of our resources that we have to do our mission with.
How old is that? When was that built, the Centenary Church?
It was built about 144 years ago, I believe.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. But St. Giles is all right to be designated in terms of by your community?
We're not really addressing that question right now, but we would have the same...
Okay, no problem with St. Giles? Or?
No, we would have the same position with the St. Giles facility as well. That has not come up under question as yet.
Okay, thank you.
Just along the same lines, then, the concern would be that the property, if you needed to sell that property, that it would be, if you needed to, that the property would be worth less if the new purchaser could not tear the building down. Is that right?
Potentially. It would certainly narrow down our possibilities of building disposition.
This is on the list now for the year 2021.
Well, that was part of the reason that in our discussions with Ms. Golden, actually, we talked about having the work plan of our facility moved up more quickly than that, because that's a long way away. And as I say, we're moving forward within the next 8 months. We hope to have some alternatives to assess and evaluate.
So, okay. Okay, thank you.
So as far as designation, there's grants, if it's a financial issues to put towards the building. Is that what you're saying? There may be problems with designated?
Yes.
But you're aware there's up to many grant?
Yes, we're aware there is some funding with regard to development fees and so on. But what we're hoping is that we could enter into a respectful and a negotiation with the city, with the residents of the area and so on, to come up with a plan that benefits all.
You're aware that even if a property is designated, there is flexibility. For instance, James Street Baptist Church, a designated building. It's been sold to a developer, and whether it's right or wrong, 90% of that building has been torn down now. The fact that that building was designated did not affect a new purchaser coming along and doing something different at that address.
Mm-hmm. Well, with respect, I think that the Centenary site is a different, perhaps a different situation than James Street Baptist, in that I think structurally there aren't perhaps the same issues that existed there. So I think it's a different consideration in that respect.
You mean that it's a more solid building than James Street Baptist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the more reason to see if we can keep it standing somehow.
It's not our. It's
At
not.
the same, I realize, the churches are not the villains here. You happen to own property that we all enjoy driving past, and meanwhile you have to pay the bills. I understand
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. At the same time, it makes sense to see if we can come up to a solution that works for you and for the people of Hamilton.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My problem is that it's, although your request and the directions and the intentions of the congregation and the folks involved today are probably very sound and realistic. My difficulty is the group that looked for the designation in the first time, and I don't know how long that may have been, when the building was designated, we would be going in direct contravention to the wishes of those people. It might be better if a plan was envisioned to do something with the building within the designation structure so that there is some more control, and that's probably the wrong word, but there's more input from other than the group or the congregation at the same time. So my difficulty is that although the request sounds reasonable, it's contrary and goes against the wishes to save the building and put some protection around the building in the first place.
Thank you.